Wemby could be the third best player in the league next year. Are we ready for that leap? Are we ready for this rejiggering of who's great in this league anyway? You know.
I mean, it started to happen this playoffs, clearly. So.
Yeah, I mean, are we ready for all the power in the NBA to be in the state of Texas? Because you look at Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio; those teams are all stacked, you know, and they're not paying their income tax, so players probably don't mind staying there, you know. Like
But
you know,
Oklahoma
Houston with
City
Durant.
looks
Yeah.
like, I mean, Oklahoma City still looks like to me they still look like the best team in the league, at least for the moment.
Until we see Cooper Flag and Dylan Harper with Wemby.
Yeah, the Spurs look further away than that to me, but it's obviously way too soon to know.
And we're all in our West Coast bubble because Cleveland's probably still the best team in the league. You know, they lost to Indiana, but I think the best team in the East, I should say. You know, they're going to have an easier road with Boston out of the way and Halliburton. So
it's true about Halliburton.
Yeah, it's terrible. I wanted to ask you this last thing, just in terms of this one question about next season, the tip-off of next season. What is it? Do they do it around Halloween? Between now and Halloween, what question about the NBA that you have would you like to have answered?
Well, we're recording this just as free agency is opening, and I'm not checking any other windows on this laptop, but I am very curious where some people are going to move. So I think that's there could be a lot of movement. I mean, I don't even know. I'm just really, this feels like a very active year already, so I'm curious what happens there. I think the Knicks coach question is a real one for me. Watching the Knicks both play well and especially against the Pacers, they couldn't start their offense. I mean, they were out near half court every possession until the shot clock ran down, and yet they managed to play competitive. It was just a puzzle for me. So what happens with the Knicks and the Pacers, both those teams that both look like among the best teams in the East? I'm really curious about both of those. I guess I'm curious about what happens with the Wembanyama Spurs that we keep hearing about.
What about the Bulls? Like, what is their plan? Do they have a plan other than saving money?
The Bulls? So the Bulls have been mid-level boring. They've been in the play-in for the last few seasons. Yeah, I mean, I like this young guy they picked up last year, Buzelis. I think he's good, but still very young. They're still working with the guy that Stacey King calls Vucci Main, Vujicic.
Oh, Vucci.
He calls him Vucci Main.
Yeah. Stacey King's the announcer, or he's a commentator?
He's a commentator. He's actually a really fun commentator to listen to, and he comes up with absurd names for. And of course, they got Kobe White. They're doing nothing right now. They're just happily in the low middle, and it's sort of the worst place to be. So, yes, I always have a question about the Bulls, and I always go see them when they're in town, playing the Blazers. And that's when I realized that, like Alex Caruso, when he was on the Bulls, and I watched the Bulls come play the Blazers, and that's when I realized just how good that guy is without being able to shoot or score very much. He was a dominant player on the court. Seeing it live was different than on TV. It was really something.
He's got 2 rings.
He's really something. Yeah.
Lev?
What? Well, it's funny though. Like seeing NBA games in person, you do get a better sense of the physicality and how these players can work and work out. You know, I got a chance to watch a lot of NBA basketball up close when I worked at the Moda Center. I had like a courtside stool for the Sabonis, Scottie Pippen run.
Awesome, that's amazing.
And you know, seeing those players up close and personal and seeing how they work with their teams it's different. You know, the TV is a mediating force, especially when they kind of focus on the stars and, you know, not so much these glue players that are kind of holding everything together that you don't always get except when you get to see it in person. I do want to throw it back a little bit. As much as I could just talk about basketball the whole time, I want to give a shout out to these different humanities organizations. So there's Oregon Humanities, there's California Humanities. They're all in all 50 states, is that right?
Actually, there are 56 of them because they're
50.
in the jurisdictions, the territories as well.
Right. And, way back in the day when we did the Fishbone film, we got tons of support from California Humanities. They were a great organization, a great partner. We put on a lot of really fun events. They helped me with the subsequent project as well. And these organizations are really important. Like the arts and humanities in this country get such short shrift when really we're the ones kind of dictating the culture. These are like almost job programs for a lot of artists and people.